Hello everyone, welcome to bbwfm hub. We are back with a new video. In this video, we are going to learn the next part of the WFM scheduling day of the week. So in the last video, we have seen that how we can use the DOW to break down our forecasted calls, and in this video, we are going to do the same but to break down our AHT. And it's also important to note that this sample data or these numbers are not related to any of the organization. This is just the sample data that is created with the random numbers. So let's start. So here we have the raw data of the answered calls. So for DOW of the AHT, we need two things: raw data of the answered call as well as the raw data of the AHT, that is actual AHT. So here we have taken the last 3 to 6 weeks of data. So this is just the sample numbers that is created, and this is for all the intervals of the day. And same as the AHT with the with calls answered, we have the raw AHT, actual AHT of the last 3 weeks. But it's also important to note that the historical data needs to be taken from the last 6 weeks to get the correct DOW. But as I already told you, it's sample data, so that's why it's just for a few weeks. So let's start. The next step is we have the AHT. Also, we have the calls answered, but we know that in the AHT, it's important to neutralize the AHT because we have some gaps. For example, here is the AHT is 50, and we are seeing that for the other intervals, the AHT is lying between 300 to 400 seconds. So it's important to neutralize the AHT. And to neutralize the AHT, we need to find out the cumulative AHT first. Cumulative AHT is just that we are calculating the AHT per interval. So that is, we are using the sum product here. We are doing the sum product of calls AHT, calls answered, and AHT, and then we are dividing it by the number of calls answered to get the cumulative AHT. And with cumulative AHT, we have the targeted AHT as well. What is the targeted AHT? So the targeted AHT is, for example, our partners are saying that the AHT must lie between 300 and 400 seconds, but they are also giving us the leverage of 30 seconds. For example, the AHT cannot exceed more than 430 seconds. So this 30 seconds is the targeted AHT, and with that targeted AHT, we have calculated our upper limit of the AHT and the lower limit of the AHT. Now, it's time to neutralize the AHT. So we have done all these calculations, the cumulative AHT, targeted and upper limit and lower limit, to get help in our neutralization of AHT. So to neutralize the AHT, what we have done that we have already created the upper limit as well as the lower limit. So the neutralization of AHT is done by these things. So we are putting the if formula here. If our AHT is greater than the upper limit, then it should be the upper limit, and if it's lower than the lower limit, then it should be the lower limit, and if it's lying between the upper limit and the lower limit, so it should be the lower limit. So this is the formula that we are using now. So with this formula, we have already neutralized the AHT for all the weeks, and now it's time to calculate the total handle time. So what is the total handle time? Total handle time is just the multiplication of the AHT and into calls answered. So we are taking here neutralize AHT and the number of calls answered. So this is the total handling time that we have calculated. Now we need to calculate the AHT arrival pattern. So for AHT arrival pattern, we are doing the sum if here. What we are doing is we are calculating that how many the total handle time of Mondays, and we are dividing that with the total calls answered on Monday as on the particular interval. So this is what we are doing. We are taking the sum if of all the Mondays, total handle time of all the Mondays, and then the total calls answered all the Mondays, and we are dividing it so that we got to know that what is the AHT arrival pattern. So this is what we are doing with all the intervals and with all the days. And for the calls answered pattern, we are doing the same. We are putting the sum if here as well to get our calls answered pattern as well. So now we have the AHT arrival pattern as well as the calls answered pattern. Now it's time to calculate the day AHT. So let's do it. How we can do it? The days AHT. So we know that to calculate the cumulative AHT, we need to use the sum product formula, because AHT is already the average handle time and we cannot put the average of average. So for that reason, we are going to use the sum product here. So we are doing the sum product of AHT and then into calls answered and dividing it by calls answered. And this is what we are doing for all the days. And then for the cumulative AHT of the whole week, with that baseline, we are going to calculate the DOW. So that is the sum product of AHT into calls answered pattern and dividing it by calls answered pattern. So this is the cumulative AHT of the whole week, that is 354 seconds. Now it's time to calculate the DOW. We know that what is the DOW? It's the day of the week, and if we are saying it on the basis of the interval, then it's the interval of the day. So here what we are doing? We are doing for Monday and at 12 AM interval, what is the day of the week or what is the pattern that here lies. So we are going to do this 358.85 and dividing it by with the whole day AHT, that is 352. And that's how we are doing with all the days and with all the intervals. And this is our DOW patterns, that is here with the percentages. Now we need to calculate the day of the week. This is the interval of the day patterns, and now it's important to calculate the day of the week as well. So for the day of the week, what we are doing is we are dividing our Monday AHT with the whole week AHT to get the day of the week. That's how we calculate the DOW, and we are doing it for all the days of the week. So this is our day of the week pattern, DOW, and with this DOW we are going to break down our AHT in intervals and in days. So for example, it's just an example, the target is 500 seconds. The targeted AHT is 500 seconds. So we are going to break it down in intervals as well as in the days. So first let's do it with the day of the week. So we know that the day of the week pattern is this, DOW is this. So what we are doing is 99% of this, our AHT. So this AHT is on Monday. And for Tuesday, it's same 101% of 500. So that's how we are going to calculate the AHT of all the days. But for the intervals, interval pattern is also here. This is the interval pattern that we have. So for the intervals, what we are doing is 102% of our whole day AHT. Because this is the interval of the day, that's why we are taking 496 here. And that's how we are doing it for all the intervals of the day. So this is the process, that how we are breaking down the AHT as per the DOW. And it's also very important to note that it's crucial to calculate the DOW correctly so that our AHT is breaking down with correct DOW and the patterns. So thank you so much. Hope so you like this video. If you like, please don't forget to subscribe and share as well. Thank you.